It's Friday. I'm so excited. I took the day off. I'm playing hooky. No, I'm not. I actually took PTO and I'm off today. And the weather is beautiful. It was really cold this morning. In fact, I had to go start my car and get the frost off of the windows because I had to go get some blood work done. And so I had to start the car to warm it up for myself. I went and made my appointment real early in this morning because I had to fast and I didn't want to have to not miss my coffee too fast or too much. So anyway, I went out and got all of that taken care of, and then I took myself to breakfast. And as I was waiting for my breakfast sandwich, I go to this one coffee shop in town, and it's really nice. You can take your things in there. You can take your computer if you want to, your drawing things. I took my drawing book. I have to show it to you. My daughter gave it to me for my birthday one year. Hold on a second. I wasn't going to do this, but I have to show you this. She gave this to me for Mother's Day one year, and it's just beautiful. I just love it. And it's a drawing pad, and I do all my different drawings and things so that I can, let me see, there we go. So I can start planning what projects I want to do. And I have to show you this one that I did the other day. Getting off topic. No, I'm not really. I'm showing you what I'm drawing and what I went in there to draw. But I wanted to show you this one. My husband does woodwork, and we're making these charcuterie trays for my daughter, for my other daughter. She has a catering business up in New Jersey, and she and my husband do. And so she has, oh my gosh, she has so many festivals ready to do. And she's doing some artisan craft shows. And so he's doing some charcuterie boards to put in there. And so I got out my drawing. Now, why can't I find it? Oh, here it is. And I wanted to draw a cone flower so that I draw the things, he puts them on, I put them in Canva, I make it into a JPEG or a PNG, and then I send it over to him into his creative space, and he puts it on his X tool, and he burns it into the wood. And so here's my cone flower that I drew. I think it's pretty. So what I did was I drew the flower. And then when I put it into Canva, I replicated the flower part of it, and I moved it around, and I made like 3 flowers, and then I did the stem and, used some graphic designing and made it into a bouquet. And so so my flower is my own creation, and the bouquet that I finally got together was my own creation out of my flower that I drew. And how I did it is I drew it in pencil first. Brandy, actually, my daughter, she's a beautiful artist, and she's an artist, and she does so many beautiful things. And she taught me how to do wildflowers and things like that, because I also design my own fabric. And one of these days I'll show it to you, and do it with watercolors and everything. So she showed me how to do it. So what I did first is I went in and did it in pencil, and then she bought me this beautiful pen for Christmas. It's this, oh, wait a minute. I wanted a fountain pen so I could practice my handwriting. My handwriting is awful. I've been online for 17 years, and my handwriting has gone to pot. I mean, and this is how we learned. I went to Catholic schools whenever I was growing up. And you know how you have handwriting class and all in lettering and all that. And this is the only kind of pen we could use. So I asked her to get me this for Christmas. And I haven't practiced very much handwriting, but I've been using it for my drawing. And I absolutely love the way that it did. So anyway, where am I going with this? So Steve burned it, and it turned out really, really good. And he said, okay, well, we have several more trays that we've got to do. So can you draw me some more things and get it done this afternoon? And I said, it doesn't work that way. I mean, I have to get my head going, and I have to design and, figure out what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do today. But I'm also going to do some things for my wool applique. And I started thinking about something that I wanted to do. I don't want to do anything that's going to be really heavy duty. I want something that I can get done quickly. And so as I was sitting in the coffee shop, going back to the coffee shop now, as I was sitting in the coffee shop, drinking my coffee and waiting, and I still have some left, so I'm going to drink it while I'm talking. As I was waiting for my sandwich to come out, I started going through Pinterest, because I go to Pinterest to get ideas. I go on YouTube to get ideas too, but I really like to go on Pinterest and see what everybody is doing. But one of the things you have to be careful with Pinterest is that there's so much stuff is on Temu, is on Pinterest, and it just, but you can get ideas and stuff. But I finally got to the board that I wanted to get to. I have a Pinterest account, and so I have all my things on there. And I got to my wool applique boards, and I went in there, and then of course I started scrolling to see what else was available. And one thing came up that I did not know what it was. And I looked at it and I said, what is that? And they call it a prayer flag. So I chose the one. You know how whenever you're on Pinterest, you can choose one and then it'll show you more. So I chose that one, and then I started scrolling, and I said, wow, this must be trending right now, because there was a whole lot on there, and they were newer posts. There were things that that people have been doing in the last probably 6 months, okay? So they weren't 2 or 3 years old. They were things that were brand new. So I looked at it and said, well, this is kind of cool, but I don't really like the flag itself. I didn't want something that's going to, put it on a string and, hang it. It kind of reminds me of a scapula. I don't know if you're Catholic, you might, I think is how you say it, scapula. It's a little picture of a saint, and you put it around your neck, and then you go through a certain period of prayer time to that particular saint. And so it's kind of similar to that. But I don't want things hanging. Number one, they're dust collectors. Number two, I just didn't want it. It didn't feel like I wanted to do that. I wanted it to be more my idea. So I got to thinking, what if I did these little pouches, and you could do the little prayer part on there. And what they do is they put a little design on there, and then they do some really short stitches, slow stitching, embroidery, maybe put a little prayer or maybe a psalm on it, or something that doesn't take very long to actually embroider. And then what I was thinking is I would do that, and I would put them on these little sachets, pillows, I think everybody calls them bowl fillers. So I thought, well, that would be kind of cool, because then if you're doing this and you're having a day that is not one of your best days, you could look at your prayer bowl, pull out each one of the little sachets. You could put some lavender in it if you wanted to make it smell good. And you could feel it and touch it and meditate a little bit. Think about the prayer that you have on there. Think about why you made it in the first place, and it'll be a calming effect. So that's kind of cool. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I like that idea, and I don't want to use what everybody else is doing. I kind of want to go off on my own, and I like the idea about the little sachets inside of a bowl. But a lot of people just do those for the holiday time. But I'm thinking this would be really cool, and you could do one. And you know what it would be really good for is if you're having a bad day and you just want to kind of meditate, or you kind of want to have some calm come over you. You could actually cut one out and get it stitched and get it put together in an afternoon. And while you're doing it, you could say your prayer, or you could meditate, or you could have this calm go over you to help slow you down. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, what do you think? I don't know if that's something that you would like to do, but I think that's what I'm going to try. So what I thought I would do today in this little is show you how I design something whenever I am about to put it on wool applique, or when I'm designing for my needle punch or embroidery or whatever. And so I got my tracing paper out. Now, I'm not tracing anything. But I did want to show you this. This is a book that I got. It's Scandinavian Folk Designs, and I love folk art. And I got to thinking, I would like to design something in here. And then, of course, I got to thinking, no, I don't want to do that, because then it wouldn't be my own design. So, but I did open it up, and I got some ideas out of it. One of the things that I always have trouble with whenever I am designing something is I like to draw. But my problem is that I'm not a trained artist, and how Brandy, taught me. I did take some art classes in school, and it was fun. And I did learn some things in there. But one of the things that I thought about is using a line of symmetry and drawing one side and then folding it and draw the other side, and then it'll be symmetrical. Now, a lot of people don't like symmetry, and they don't like things to be symmetrical, but some things need to be symmetrical. And I was thinking that if I did something very small for this little project, I would want it to be more symmetrical so that I could actually, draw it and make everything easy for me. So let me show you what I do. I'm going to show you how I do that. So I'm going to pull a piece of tracing paper. Now, you don't have to have tracing paper, but it sure does make your life a lot easier. Okay, so you get a piece of tracing paper and you fold it in half. And you just fold it in half and you crease it. Okay, so that's what I've done here. Okay, and so you open it back up. You can see the crease. Now, if you need to, you can go in and you can draw a line. I'm going to turn my thing over, and I think you can see that. Let me go a little bit further down. Nope, that's too much. All right. So if you want to, you can draw that line of symmetry, and you can get a ruler if you need to, but I don't really need to do that. Just draw a line. So let's say that you wanted to draw a flower, a tulip. Okay, and I'm going to draw a tulip. And this is so that you can draw one tulip and cut the piece out, and then you can either make it bigger or smaller or whatever, and then you can have a whole conglomerate of flowers. Another good thing is for whenever you want to do a leaf pattern with leaves all on it, and you want it to look symmetrical. And so that would be really easy to do. So what I'm going to go ahead, instead of using my pencil because you won't be able to see it, I'm going to go ahead and use my pen. Now, okay, I had to change my ink. All right, so I'm going to put this underneath here so you can see it better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and draw. Let me see. what if I did this? Okay. So let's go ahead and draw a picture of a tulip. Now I'm going to draw it big so you can see it. So this one won't be used for my little sachet bag because I don't want it to be this big. But what I want to do is show you how to actually draw a pattern of something so that you can use it and feel like you've accomplished something. Okay, so I'm going to draw a tulip. I'm going to draw a tulip, and I'm going to start here. Like that. And then I'm going to come down like this. And then I'm going to come up like that. There it is. Now that's all I did. So you got half of it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get our paper and we're going to fold our paper to where it's folded on the outside, to where the picture is on the outside, like this. Then I'm going to turn it over and you're going to see the other side right there. And now I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to actually trace what I just drew. Okay? Then I'm going to open it up. And there's my tulip. And it is all symmetrical. There you go. So the first thing I did was I folded my paper. I drew it on this side. And then I had to unfold it, and I folded it the other way so that whenever I go to trace it, it would be on the same side. And I traced it, and then I opened it up, and there it is. Now I'm going to do another one so you can see again. So this time I'm going to do a little bit bigger one, and it's going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to do like that. Then I'm going to fold my paper again so that I can see it on this side. Barely, you can barely see it. There it is. Okay, then I'm going to come in and I'm going to trace it on this side exactly the way I had it on the other side. Now you don't have to use this kind of pen. It just, I have more control over it. It's a heavy pen and I have more control over it. And I open it back up and you connect those little pieces. And there's my other one. And there you go. So you got two different ones. Really, really easy. Okay, so now I'm going to come down and I'm going to do some leaves. So there's my leaves. Now I'm going to turn my paper over. And I'm going to trace them. Be careful with this pen if you're going to use this kind of pen, because it looks like it. Okay. I'm going to open it back up. And there you go. Now, one thing that you can do, you know what? I might just use this because I could have, let me come up and talk to you a little bit. All right, I'm back. Okay. Excuse me. So I think I'm going to use this one down here. And what I thought I would do is I brought some different wools in. I'm doing this in the house and not in my office today. And I thought I would, I pulled out some of my wool that I really, really like. And at first I thought I would do this ticking as my backdrop, but you know, I'm not really sure I like that. So I went in and I found this wool here, and I love the color. I have a lot of things this color, so I have a lot of this wool. Okay, so I'm going to use this. I'm not going to hold it up in front of my head because then it'll mess my camera up. So I'm going to use this as my backdrop. And then I've got all of this beautiful wool here that I purchased. It's all from the same colorway, but they're all different fabric pieces. This one's kind of cool. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. Isn't that cool? And then this one here, I like that one too. This one here. Let's see if I can get it to, yeah, there you go. And this one. And then this one. They're all this pinkish color. And I thought, you know, I really like that. But I've also got this beautiful sage green that I can do the leaves on. So that would be cool. I brought this in. Not sure I want to use this or not. I haven't decided what fabric, what yarns I'm going to, or not what threads, but I am going to use my Valdani. I just got to figure out if I want the color of the fabric or if I want to do a different color to make it more, where the thread will pop out at you. But I really like the one on the bottom because it's smaller. And I was thinking that I could make a long one, along, you know, kind of like this size here. Well, let me see. Yeah, I'll just say, I'll fold this up. But this would be kind of cool. You could still put it in a bowl and it would be this size, so the flower will be on it, the leaves will be on it, and then I could do whatever little stitching, whatever prayer I wanted to, I could put it on there. I think that'll be cool. I'm having a really, really hard time. I'm just having such a hard time with losing my mom. And there's so much noise in the world. And I need some time to just relax, slow down. And I think that this is going to help. I hope that you, maybe if you're like that, if you've got things going on in your life that you just really need some time to just think, maybe this is a project that you could dive into. And it won't be a really long project. We've already got the pattern done. All we have to do is put it on the pieces of paper. And I don't even do that. with wool applique. I just cut them out and use little applique pins, and then I sew them. But then you can, use your thread and make some little cute little French knots and things like that. And I think that's what I'll do. In my next video, I will go ahead and show you how I've got it all set up, and I'll have everything, for you so that you can see it. And I know I sound like I'm babbling. It's just been a rough day for me. And when I saw that on Pinterest, and I said, a prayer flag. And I thought, I don't really want the flag, but I could do something else. And I like the idea about the little pouch. I love lavender. So you can go on Amazon and find some lavender pieces and put them in there. I also, there's other places online that you can actually get organic lavender, from the lavender fields, the lavender farms. And you can buy some, and oh, they smell. I bought one time. I don't remember the name of the company that I bought it from. It was just something that I found online, and I just absolutely thought it was beautiful. And so I bought it, and it smells so good. I actually went with my daughter last week to an herb class, and she was showing this lavender that grows here in Florida that, lavender usually doesn't like the humidity, is what I'm understanding, because I never have been able to get lavender to grow. And so she sold me, or she gave me one. It's called Provence lavender. I think that's what it's called. I have it planted in the pot out there, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to propagate it and get more. But then I told her also, whenever she has some more, just let me know and I'll come and buy some. A lot of other people wanted to buy the same. There was about 10 of us there. And I told him, I said, if you don't want any lavender, I'll buy all of them. There was about 6 or 7 pots. And so there were some other ladies that wanted it. So I got the one that she gave me, and then I bought another one. And I've got those 2 planted, and I put them in a pot. Because then if it gets too hot, I can take it out of the sun. I know lavender likes sun, but our heat here is really, really bad. So I might have to put it in the shade in the afternoons or whatever. So what I'm getting at with that is I'm hoping that I can get my own lavender and dry it. But what I'm getting at is you can get your lavender on Amazon, or you can get your lavender at lavender farms and have that on hold. Have that. You can also, eucalyptus is really good. What are some other things? You could do rosemary if you wanted to. I mean, it might smell more like the kitchen, but I've got a rosemary plant outside that is just absolutely, it's gorgeous, and it is so big. And I just got finished drying some rosemary for my daughter. She has a farm to table. She's a wellness coach, and she has a farm to table herb recipes that she sells. And so I dried a whole bunch of rosemary for her. But that would be really cool. You could put rosemary in this. And rosemary, when you smell rosemary, it just has a sensation that just makes you feel really good too. So that's another good idea. So anyway, I'm going to make this one. In my next video, I will have you sit with me, and we'll do some stitching, and get this little prayer sachet bowl or pillow, maybe a sachet pillow, let's call it that. And but the good thing is, it will, when I see it, I can look at it, and I can think, and I can meditate, and I can get the noise out of my head about all the things that's going on in the world. Plus, trying to get over my mom's death has been really, really hard for me. And I did a video right after she passed away. And it's just, I thought that by now, I did that video, she passed away in November. I thought by now that I would be fine. And I don't know what it is. Of course, her birthday was just a couple of weeks ago. And I guess it was because she lived with me. But also, my dad passed away 17 years ago. And it was really, so my mom was my person. I used to get her and I said, let's go. We got to go. We got to go to a quilt show. We got to go to and we would get in the car and go up to Pigeon Forge for a couple of days. And we would do that. We did that, 2-3 times in 3-4 years, we would go up there and do it. And I just miss her. It's just really hard. So I was thinking that this might help, just to be able to meditate and think about her while I'm doing this. And she was a very faithful person, and I know that I know she's looking down on us and you know, comforting us. And anyway, so thanks for showing up today. I really appreciate it. Why don't you subscribe so you will know when I'm doing this? I only do this about every 2 weeks because I'm still working, but hopefully this summer I am going to pivot and really focus on this and focus on some other things that I've got for my own ideas. And so I'm hoping that I can pivot and leave what I'm doing now and go to something else. But right now it's a struggle because it's at the end of the year, testing time and all that kind of stuff. And I have a lot of seniors. I teach seniors, and they're having senioritis, and it's taking all I can do to just get them to do their work. It's just anyway. So this is going to help me. So in my next video, I will start to show you how I do the slow stitching. And if you're interested in learning how to do each little, and I do 5 different little stitches. They're my go-to stitches. And I like to do those. So I'll share those with you as I'm doing this. And I'll show you how to cut everything out and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm going to let you go. Don't forget to subscribe. And that way then you'll know when I have my next one coming up, which will be in about 10 days. Okay? All right, everybody. I thank you so much for coming, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye, everybody.